Welcome back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast, guys. It's your boy DJ KO. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show. It's been a long time. Last show was a great one. It was an awesome one. We had the Angela, the great and the only Angela Box on there. You know, she's very controversial and she's getting ready for this 2024 re-election. So make sure you guys get ready and prepare for that campaign because she tuned up for that. And as y'all can see what she did last week, she calls me every day. She want me to come on the show, but I'm afraid to go on there with a lot of right-wing individuals, so you guys got to help me out. But anyway, guys, I'm glad you guys tuned in. Much love to y'all. Once again, I have to give a shout out to my sponsor, 605 Adult Beverages. Make sure you look up those guys at Drink ALP6. Much love to y'all. Also, my corporate sponsorship with Red Coral Universe. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys for making Culturally Distinct not just a domestic brand but an international brand. Thank you guys for that. As you guys can see, 2024 has just started. We had so many events that's going on, and of course the most important thing, have my important guests. I haven't guests since it's been what, let me see, we only been in the year maybe a month or so. Let's see, this is going to air in February, so a month. And I have been getting heavy hitters already, you know what I'm saying? Today I have a heavy hitter, and you know what I'm saying, she has a schedule that's booked all the way from here all the way to April. So she blessed us with her presence today. I'd like everybody to welcome to the show Dr. Porscha Jackson. Hey. How you doing, Doc? Yeah, look, behind the scene, guys, y'all didn't see this, but I was kind of late. Y'all know, tardiness is not my thing, but, I've been busy. I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to do some things that I didn't do last year, but, hopefully with Dr. PJ's help, hopefully I could be bigger and better and do some good things with the city of Houston.
Absolutely.
That's a great thing. That's an
Yes.
affirmation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Doc, before we even get started, let the people know where you're from.
I am originally from Omaha, Nebraska, but
Okay.
I've been in Houston probably longer, so Houston is home.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So, how did you even, first of all, get from Omaha? I mean, get from Omaha to Houston.
The weather.
Okay.
So it was a period of a blizzard that started
Okay.
in I think it was October 1st,
Mm-hmm.
and we had snow on the ground until the end of March. So that kind of did it for me. I was like, I gotta go.
Right.
Can't do it anymore.
So, in saying that, and now you're in the city. So, how long have you been in Houston?
Ooh, over 15 years.
Oh, you're a Houstonian then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Houstonian.
It's home.
So let me ask you this. I know you do a plethora of things, but I wanted to bring you on the show because of what your position is and what you do with the city of Houston. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but they have a section within the mayor's office. If I'm
We're a full-blown department now.
Oh,
we used
okay.
to be a part of the mayor's office. We're a full-blown department.
Okay, and we're
Mhm.
speaking, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we're speaking about the OBO, the Office of Business Opportunity. And maybe you could go into more detail
Sure.
on what the Office of Business Opportunity does.
Sure. So OBO, for short, we are an advocate for small businesses. And so we help those, not only just small businesses, but specifically those who have been owned by historically marginalized individuals. And we also help disenfranchised individuals in the workforce development.
Okay, so how do you even get in that field? Because that's like one of those things, you can't go to school for that.
No, you can't.
Right.
You really can't. Honestly, I worked at a university before
Okay,
in the business school. So I was around the business aspect, got out of that, and then I had an office job where I really couldn't leave.
hmm
And I was like, I need to get back to business. And so I saw the opportunity, applied for the job, and here I am.
So
almost 5 years later. Yeah.
5 years. Okay,
Almost.
5 years, and you're the director,
I'm the business development manager.
manager. So
Mhm.
that's a high position. That's a big position. So, because think about it, if you say 5 years, let me see, because I've been in Houston 12 years, and we're talking about development of small business, right? So even though it's been going on forever, but the magnitude of business that's been taking place, especially when you
Yes.
talk about infrastructure,
Yes.
right? Like it's crazy. Like the last year, I believe, last 2 years, I believe now you have what, $1 trillion projects is going on.
It's a lot, and especially a lot is about to hit for infrastructure because the federal dollars that are coming down. So
Right.
it's a lot of opportunity. In Houston.
And that's why I brought you on here. So I want to start off slow because when people start talking about money and they talk about opportunity, they want to know, okay, how can I get registered, or how can I become certified, or what are the requirements in order for my business to even participate?
Absolutely.
So starting off at the very beginning. So now with the business of opportunity, uh, do I need to have a small business, or can I come in as a single entity or like a LLC and
Yes.
participate?
We have people come in who haven't even filed their business yet, and they're just looking for guidance on how to do that. And so if we don't provide that at our office, we have partners that are able to assist you,
Okay.
and we'll pair you up there. And so just to kind of give a quick background, so our office started almost 40 years ago as affirmative action.
Okay.
And so now we are an official department with the city of Houston, and we not only get people certified, meaning we're the certified agency for the city of Houston, but we also have business development programming that range from folks who just have that business idea with the business plan competition, all the way up to those who have had significant success but want to take it to the next level.
Okay.
And then we also have a solution center that helps people with navigating the permitting process. And we have a contracts compliance that ensures that any of our certified firms that are performing on our goal-oriented contracts, that everything is following as supposed to with that contract. And so with that, we help a multitude of people. So if you have your LLC, if you have your DBA, we are definitely here to help them and to get started with doing business with the city, or if they just want to do business in general with other government agencies, we're here to help them with that.
Okay. So now you mentioned two things, and I know we use acronyms because
We love acronyms.
right. I'm familiar with the acronyms, but a lot of people out there are not familiar with the acronyms. So you mentioned LLC, you mentioned DBE, but you have let me see, you have SBA, you have MDB.
So for certifications, we have minority. So the BE always stands for business enterprise. So we have the MBE, WBE, which is women. We have the SBE, which is small. We have the DBE, which is disadvantaged, and that's economically based. Race and gender does not matter. We also have the AC DBE, which is airport concessions. And then we also have the PD DBE, the persons with disabilities BE. And then we can also certify folks for HUB, which is historically underutilized businesses, and that's a state certification.
Like Hub Zone, so kind of sort of
different.
Oh,
HUB
that's
Zone
different.
is federal. HUB is state.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. So now, you use the terms disadvantaged, minority, women's, people with disabilities, small business. What is the difference? Because now I thought that a disadvantaged business is a business that makes less than $250,000. Is that
not for us?
Okay.
No. So with certifications, there are a lot of different agencies and organizations that provide certifications. So their DBE could be that.
Okay.
But when we're talking about in the government space, DBE, we're talking about disadvantage, which means that anyone, the business owner, their personal net worth can't be over 1.32 million minus the investments in the business and their primary residence.
Got you. Okay, so that's how that's equated. And so now, and the other ones are specifically what you said: a woman's business.
Yes.
Minority and physical disability.
Well, persons with disabilities.
Person with disability.
It could be a mental disability as well.
So okay, so I didn't know they had contracts with the city for that sort of thing.
So it would be on the goal on the contract. So when we talk about certifications, and I'll just back it up just in case certifications is new to someone that's listening.
Okay.
There's contracts, and when they reach a certain amount. So for us, if it's goods and services or professional services over 100,000, if it's construction over $1 million, those are the contracts that could possibly have a goal on it. That goal just means whatever that percentage is, whoever has the contract, which is considered the prime contractor, must subcontract out whatever that percentage is to whatever that certified goal is.
Okay.
So some contracts might have 10% MBE, or it could have 4% SBE,
Right.
or it could have 34% MWBE. Whatever is on that particular contract, that's what that goal means. And so some contracts do have, typically it's a 1% PDBE, so persons with disabilities.
Got you. Okay, so I understand. Now I get you. So now, I want to kind of talk about that too. You use prime and sub. So a lot of people really don't know what that means. So prime is the person that comes in who gets the entire contract.
Correct.
Right? Now the sub is a company that comes in to sub out small pieces, like you just stated, of the contract.
Yes, and with the city, and typically with most agencies, the prime is responsible for selecting the sub. We don't select the sub. So if you are the prime and that contract has a 10% goal on it, 10% will just say WBE goal. So then it's up to you, if you get that contract, that you have to find a certified WBE to perform that 10%.
But isn't that a disadvantage though? Because most prime contractors are major white businesses, right? Majority of them.
Yes.
So, and you said that most primes select their subs. The city doesn't have nothing to do with that, right?
No, we can't select the sub on your behalf.
Okay.
You would have to select the sub on your behalf.
See, I always thought that the cities also participated in that because
in the selection process?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Because the reason why I say that, and even though this is on a federal level, it's been the last, 60 years, Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, he had to make a ordinance to say that primes have to participate with subcontracts, and subcontracts, at least 30%, they have to be a minority company on a federal level. So I always thought that cities also got to participate in that also.
No, it's somewhat of the same thing.
Okay.
So when there's a contract, and so the cities can say, and not all cities even have goals set on their contracts.
Okay.
What we're saying is, Mr. or Mrs. Prime, in order for you to get this contract, you have to sub out this percentage to a certified firm.
Correct.
Same as what the federal government does. Now, the federal government has set-asides in programs that are specific for certain groups. We don't have set-asides for the city of Houston. We just have the goals on there. So it still is an opportunity, because you can't win the contract if you have not already put down who's going to be that sub, and that sub is verified to be certified.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if I go for a contract, I have to put a certain sub if I'm going as a prime.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought
so. You can't even, if you were to submit a bid for a particular contract, and it had a goal on it, and you're like, I'm keeping all the money to myself, and I'm going to submit the bid as is,
right,
you automatically just disqualified yourself. Because if it has a goal, you must select the subcontractor. There's only a few instances where you get a waiver, but you have to prove that you couldn't find a qualified sub to fulfill that goal.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know that. So now let me ask you about participation, past performance. Before I even get into that, let's talk about contracts. What type of contracts do the city even offer? Because we're using this term contracts.
Yeah. So, and I think about, and I smile only because we have standard contracts that we get. Of course, we're going to have construction, right? Because, look at Houston. And then we have other contracts, but sometimes there's things that you wouldn't think that we would buy,
right, and
we buy them. For instance, we've purchased goats before, right?
Okay.
So who would think that the city is purchasing goats?
Animal goats?
Yeah. So, but what I tell people to do is to always make sure, break down a city employee. So if we're talking about a construction worker, that's someone that's working on the roads. What does that person have? They have a uniform on. We're not making those uniforms. So that's something we have to purchase.
Right.
They have a car. We have to purchase that car. We have to purchase all those necessary items they need to fulfill their job duties. So that kind of gives you an idea of all that we buy. And they're an employee, right? So we have to have benefits. Of course, we have to have training for them. So those are some more things to be thinking about what the city purchases.
Right. And also you have what, sole sourcing. That's contractors out in the country that well, not farmers, but most people that's way out in the rural area, they don't even go for bid. It's just like, if you're 300 miles outside the city and you want to do it, hell, you could just they just give it to you.
Yeah.
So what about the contracts that like people don't know about, that the ones that don't go to bid, or they're not solicited on the website?
So those are going to be, I don't want to say they're a form of a contract,
Okay.
but those are, I would say, more of opportunities that are going to be less than $3,000.
Okay.
And those can happen through a PO or just a credit card transaction.
Oh,
so you
okay.
won't see those out for bid, but anything else you would see that out for
I
bid.
thought that was bigger. I thought sometimes you could go for, somebody could give, you know, 200,000, 300,000.
No.
Oh, it's less than 3,000. Oh, okay. So I didn't know these. I didn't know the stipulations to certain
Yes, so
contracts.
we basically have it 3 categories. So you have procurement card, 3,000 or less. With those, they don't have to announce, hey, we need a T-shirt to purchase or whatever. They don't have to announce that. They, meaning anyone in the department,
Okay.
they can just reach out and purchase those. Then you have informal procurements, which is anything 3,000 or more, all the way up to 50,000.
Okay.
And so those you will see listed on the website under informal procurements. And then you have formal procurements and RFPs, which are over that amount,
Right.
over 50,000.
Right. And the ones you see on the site.
And you're going to see those as well on the site.
So now, let's get to past performance. Past performance is basically what the company has done in that particular field whenever they go for a solicitation or for a bid. So does past performance play a major role in receiving the contract or even getting the contract?
It can.
Okay.
And so every contract is going to be different. And when you look at that particular solicitation, and I guess we're using contract and solicitations, simultaneously, but when you're looking at that solicitation, which is in the form of before it has actually been awarded, that solicitation is going to tell you everything in regards to that. Some solicitations are 1 page. Some I've seen go up to 172 pages, and they could be larger than that. And so that's going to let you know if there is a past performance component that's involved with that particular solicitation. Some may have requirements to say you have to be in business for 5 years. Some may not have that requirement. So each solicitation is going to be different.
Okay.
So that's why it's really important for, if you're going to get into government procurement, when you see those actual solicitations listed on the site, read through it thoroughly so you know exactly what they're asking for.
So now let me ask you this. I don't know if you have these numbers. You should have these numbers. You're in the data. I want to know the data. Because that's what everybody want to ask. Everybody asks me, they said, because that's what I do sometimes. I bid on contracts with my other businesses, on just small little contracts, But I understand how it works. But a lot of people don't. So the first question they ask is the money, of course. How much money can I get? The second question is, how many companies that look like mine are actually getting contracts? So the data. The question is the data. How many minority? How many in the city of Houston?
Yes.
How many actual minority companies that's listed as a minority company are actually getting contracts?
I don't know the number.
Okay.
But I can tell you it's on our website.
Okay.
Which is houstontx.gov/OBO. You're going to click on reports, and it'll give you the reports for annual reports as well as quarterly reports. And I sort of remember the numbers from last year.
Okay.
Last fiscal year, and I believe we awarded over $673 million went to city certified firms.
Okay.
Right, and so when I say city certified firms, means firms certified by us, because when we put those goals on it, it only counts if you've been certified by us. So 673, and Yes, 673 million went to
Okay.
certified firms.
Certified form, because I'm, and I know this has nothing to do with your office, but my biggest complaint was always the term minority.
I don't like it either.
That
But
minority
that's the term we use.
Yeah, it's like because so many people use that term loosely, and they are actually minorities. Like white women are minorities.
So I typically, outside of this space, whenever I can, I just say marginalized because I come from the academic background, and especially in the education field, there's a stigma with the word minority.
Yes.
Right? And so, but that's what they call it. And at the city, we separate out minority and women.
Oh, okay. So that's good to know. So when you guys are looking at these different contracts, so it is thoroughly looked through that this is considered as a minority company, but it's a white woman.
It's considered, if it's a white woman,
Yeah.
that's not minority in our eyes. It's woman-owned business.
Okay.
Not minority.
Got you.
Minority for us is strictly based off of race, and for us, whites are not minorities.
Minority. Wow. Okay, that's good to know.
And then the reports will break it down. So anybody who wants to look at that for the data, you can see exactly the percentage of contracts that are going to women, that are going to blacks, that are going to Hispanics, that are going to Asians, and in our 3 categories, which are construction, goods and services, and professional services.
Right. That's good to know because I had an argument with one of my buddies. I used to be on the radio here in Houston, and he's Adam. You might know him. I'm gonna say his name off air, but he does a lot of business with the city of Houston with the DOT,
Okay.
Department of Transportation, and he's went to Washington a couple of times already for the city of Houston. So you probably know who I'm talking about.
I might, but Department of Transportation, they just lump everybody into DBE, so the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. They don't break it out like we do.
Okay. Okay, got you. And you guys don't deal with like outside of Harris County, like the municipalities, like say for instance like a Cypress or Montgomery County or what is that?
You mean
Brazilia?
like the work for their particular? Yes. No, we just focus on City of Houston limits.
Okay.
But our certification and our programs encompasses the 10 surrounding counties.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's good. So now let's talk about certifications. How long does it take to get my certification back?
So we average about 6 months. Could be less, and it could be more.
Ooh.
The average is 6 months. It's a long time.
Very.
It's because of the amount of certifications that we get and the amount of people we have to process those.
Yeah.
I always tell people, do not wait until somebody says, oh, I want to use you because you're a minority or you're a woman. Get that certification now so when somebody does offer you the opportunity, you are prepared. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because my actual company, it took us 2 years to get it.
Oh my gosh.
2 years, but we have everything. We have every single certification, but it took us a long time.
Yeah.
And then we're not just in Houston, we're in Louisiana also.
Gotcha.
So the good thing is that most of those states are reciprocal. You just provide the information that you need and go from there. But yeah, that wait time is not like Popeyes, guys. You can't go to Popeyes and order it and it's right there. It's going to take a while.
No, it's not. And the advice I give is if you just started your business, get that certification. It's a whole lot easier for you. You'll go through a lot quicker because you don't have much documents for the team to have to review. And so if you have a complex business, that's where you're going to get into a lot of the wait time in construction. You're going to get a lot of wait time because there's a lot of stuff they have to verify because that's pretty much one of the highest areas where fraud comes in.
Absolutely, especially we're going to talk about that a little later about the construction and what's going on in Houston with that certification, man. So can you get a contract while the certification is in limbo, like it's in process? Can you get awarded a contract?
You can because you don't have to be certified to do business with us.
Okay.
Right? You don't have to be certified to do business with us, but you just have to be certified to take advantage of the goal. Now, there have been instances where I've seen a firm listed on the contract as a sub, and their certification wasn't complete, but by the time it came for them to actually perform their part of the contract, they had the certification.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. So now, let's get to the good part. The MONEY, the money. I wish I had the money. I had the money thing, you know, so I got to. So now, the city of Houston. Now, this is what I read, and this is just for the transportation and infrastructure part of it.
Okay.
Now, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have the exact numbers. I read that the city of Houston got granted $1.75 trillion just for the one of the expansion projects, the 45 expansion. The airport got granted, I believe it was $800 million, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
I'm not for sure on the numbers, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot in both those areas you just mentioned.
Yes.
A whole lot.
So now, when I heard that number, because if you're looking at the national money that's been allocated to different states, the city of Houston has almost $2 trillion. Just Houston, not Texas. The city of Houston,
huge. Yeah.
$2 trillion. So I said, hold on. Time's up. I started doing my research. $2 trillion. I said, what's 1% of $2 trillion? That's like what, 200 million, something like that. So I said, hold on. How can I get 1% of this $2 trillion? So anyway, so I started going down that rabbit hole, and that's when I started looking to the federal side and looking at the executive orders that Joe Biden signed, Executive Order 13985 about how minorities participation, all that stuff. Then I started getting to the city of Houston. So my first question, how can a minority business, a disadvantaged business, I'm sorry, wrong term, a woman's business, a disadvantaged business, take advantage of that opportunity, of that money?
Okay. So keep in mind this. So the majority of the city of Houston contracts are going to have M and W and SBE goals on them. Anytime there's a contract that has federal funds, that's where the DBE can come into play. And so when we're talking about the work that's going to be taking place because of the money that's coming from the federal government on the infrastructure, we need firms to be DBE certified, disadvantaged business enterprise certified. And so we honestly don't have enough of firms that are DBE certified. So if you're not DBE certified, make sure you go out and get that. But you'll see those contracts posted on our website. So the first thing you want to do is register to be a vendor with the city of Houston. No matter, I don't care if you're supplying us a stick of gum opposed to someone who's working on a multi-million-dollar contract. Everybody has to be a registered vendor with the city of Houston. That's the first step.
Okay.
Then you want to check those bids and be able to apply for those bids. The beauty of being certified is if you are able to perform as the prime contractor on a contract, and that contract has a goal, you can also perform up to 50% of that goal.
Okay.
So if it's a 10% goal, you don't have to fully sub out the full 10%. You could perform up to 5% of that, and then just sub out the remaining percentage of the goal. But the first step is to register to be a vendor with the city.
List. And that's on the website OB. So
that is on we got a new platform for that one. So it used to be the website purchasing.houstontx.gov. You can still use that, and it'll take you to the new website. But that web address is houstontx.gov/biz, B-I-Z, with Hugh, H-O-U.
Okay, got you. So let me ask you this. What are some major disadvantages? Not even disadvantages, but major, I guess, things that you see that companies, they fail at trying to go for bids and contracts?
One is access to capital, and being in marginalized groups. Sometimes
you don't have it.
You just don't. Yeah,
you
just don't have it. And so with our partners, a lot of us in the Houston business ecosystem, the financial partners are trying to do things to better assist with that, because we know that a lot of the marginalized firms just, they don't have the access to capital, and there's some other things that may have taken place to prevent them from being able to access capital for those contracts. One of the major things that I see is the networking piece. You have to get out there
Yes.
and network. And in doing network, you have to be able to know how to present yourself to people. And what I tell people is, you have to remember whoever you're talking to is a person just like you. They make mistakes. They prejudge as well. You know, so make sure that when you're out there and networking, you're putting your best foot forward, and have a capability statement that shows what you've done. If you have references, make sure you list those so that somebody can fact check it. Also, consider that people do business with people they know.
Correct.
So you got to get out there and know people.
Right.
And people have to know you, most importantly. And so even if you have to just put it in your schedule and make some time, you have to get out to these networking events and know what's going on and meet people. And you have to kind of court people, honestly, to build that relationship. And that's one of the major things that I see outside of the access to capital, is the ability to be able to network and get themselves out there.
Right. So one thing, and I want to piggyback off that, one thing about the networking, since I've been here, I'm not from here, but I live here. Well, I've been here 12 years, so it's a long time. But, but one thing, I think my opinion is more of the right way and the right people to network with, because
Absolutely.
you know,
you don't need to talk to everybody,
right? And you don't need to go to all these events that everybody's saying something, but they're not doing nothing, right?
Exactly.
So, well, funny story, and this is a real life story. When our mayor now, John Whitmire, was campaigning, I have a good friend that I went to college with that was his chief of staff, and he invited me to all the events. So I'm at all these events at these private locations in River Oaks, at these houses, right? That none of us, when I say us, none of us are there, right? And of course they asked me, you know, what do you do, blah blah blah, and I told them. It was like, wow, blah blah. So I'm like, and they was like, you know what? I have a guy that does the same thing. I'm gonna give him a call. Maybe you guys could joint venture on something, blah blah blah. And by me just sitting there doing that and noticing that, and the type of people that's in there that's campaigning, right, or paying money into the campaign, all these dudes want something. They all had businesses, and they all was looking for contracts. That's one thing I know. I was like, I seen this person at the last event. Now you at this event. They have a construction company. They have a vending, whatever it is, and they're asking for something, but they want their faces being seen, and at the same time they're putting money into this campaign, right? I'm not saying that's whatever, but I'm just saying these type of individuals are at these right events. Rights events, you know what I'm saying, versus going to 50-15, and nothing wrong with 50-15, but going to the other spots, I'm like, man, we ain't doing no business here, man. You see what I'm saying?
I absolutely do.
So, if you're going to network in the right locations. I'm not saying it's a color thing. It's a class thing, though. It is.
Absolutely.
It's a class thing.
And then also, part of it is doing your research too.
Yeah.
So if you know there's a specific contract that you want, or a specific agency you want to work with because of that contract, know who had that contract before you get there. Know who possibly. I'm not saying you would know exactly, this person, but you should be able to blurt out a company name. You should be able to know, like, oh, if such and such is going to be there, that's an event I need to go to because I need to make that connection with that person. Yeah. And so a lot of that, is knowing that. And one beauty part of the government is that a lot of that information is public information.
Correct.
You can go on a website that we have, Houston.mwdbe.com, which is the same website you would go to register to fill out your certification application. But there's a button that says contract database. That will tell you who has a contract, how much that contract was for, who they subbed with. So that gives you some background. And so do that research. Know if someone is in the space that you want to be in, know where they go and where they network,
Right.
and you show up there and make those connections.
Yeah, I know. I call my contracting officers. I call them every week. They know who Adam Nelson is. It's like, Adam Nelson again, geez Louise. But they know me. But the thing is, they have to do that because that's their job, right? And if they know that, you can do the actual job, I'm like, give me the contract.
Right.
Give it to me. I can handle it, So I'm gonna give y'all a story before we get out of here. Look, so it was a contract last year that I went with for the Department of Human Health Services. It was a federal contract. Contract was $23 million.
Nice.
Right? And it was us, our company and another company was the last ones in the bidding race. And the lady called me. She was like, Mr. Nelson, I'm sorry that the other company was going to be granted the contract. I said, hold on. I said, can we do a change order request? I said that was last year. I know the prices are different, right? This year. She was like, normally we'll just give you half and give the other company half, but the rules have changed. I was like, that was $11 million. I said, oh my goodness, I would have quit that day. But it was that close. But it's gonna come, what we gonna, that's gonna happen, stuff like that.
And also, and just to piggyback off of that, if you apply for a contract and you don't get it, ask to see the winning bid.
Yes.
So that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can see what they did.
Yep.
And then also ask for a debrief meeting to ask them, okay, I saw what the other person did. Tell me why I didn't get this contract. How can I be prepared for it for the next time?
Yeah. That's what I didn't know. I learned that like months later. Like ask for a debrief, and I forget the actual name of it. Debrief, and this is something else. I have the emails, but anyway, but that's and that's all trial and error. I learned this stuff off of YouTube during COVID. You know what I'm saying?
YouTube is the place, though.
I'm telling you, man. That's how I started the business during COVID. So, but guys, man, look, I hope you guys appreciated this information that we give you. This is actually a $1.5 trillion conversation if you take heed to it. So websites, where can they find contracts? Where can they find you? Where can they find your office and things what Houston got going on coming up?
Sure. So in regards to contracts with the city of Houston, you can go to houstontx.gov/biz, B-I-Z, with, W-I-T-H, Hugh, H-O-U. There, that same website, you'll be able to register to be a vendor with the city. You'll also be able to search for bids and see any other pertinent information regarding the city of Houston's bid process, even past bids if you want to do that research. On our office's website, which is houstontx.gov/OBO, you can look at those reports, the past spending reports with our certified firms. You can also see our calendar of events, which it has a lot of different networking events that are available. You can see our business development programs. Everything that we offer is free of charge. We even have free legal services. So a lot of resources are there for you at that website. You can also sign up to be a part of our newsletter, which comes out every Monday, and it's going to have the bids, not just with the city, but with our partners. So think about Missouri City, Port Houston, the Texas, I try not to say the acronym because people are like, what? But the Texas Criminal Department of Justice.
TCJ or something?
Yeah, TCDJ. Yeah.
DJ, yeah.
All those will be there, so you can rely on that to come every week, so you can look at that information and go after those bids. And we also have another newsletter that comes the same time. It has all the networking events and educational. So a lot of times, really encourage people, especially if you want to get into government contracting, get involved in some of these business development programs, because that's going to help you broaden your network, not just with your fellow colleagues and business owners, but it's actually giving you connections with folks who have finances, the financing companies, as well as who have resources, because you want to build those relationships because you never know when you're going to need them. So all of that can be done on our website. You can also come down to our office. We're located downtown at 611 Walker on the 7th floor. We're catty-cornered from the reflection pond from City Hall. And then to reach out to me, you can always send me an email at porscha.jackson@houstontx.gov, or you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always there.
Okay. Okay. You're not on social media or nothing like that? Outside of LinkedIn.
Like
Instagram and
I'm on Instagram.
You know people do Instagram.
I'm trying.
You
I'm
know.
trying. But LinkedIn, I'm consistent.
Okay. So, but look, before we get out of here, I didn't ask you the doctor term. Like, what school did you go to get your?
So I have a PhD in human resource development.
Okay.
Where my dissertation was on family businesses and intergenerational careers, and I got that from Texas A&M University.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. Cause I'm calling you a doc. I'm like, wonder where she got a doctorate from. You know what I'm saying? I got you. And I see you got a 49ers fan, so I take you a 49ers fan. So.
Actually, I'm not.
Oh, you know.
It's just the jacket
Okay.
that I was running out this morning.
They might win a Super Bowl, so you never know. Guys, look,
But
we
go
about
Texans for me.
Oh, go Texans. Oh, that's right. Next year, right? Next year.
Next year. Ours.
So, guys, man, look, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Y'all heard the information that Dr. Porscha gave you guys. Make sure you guys apply that information so you guys could look, not just build wealth for yourself, but wealth for your families to come. And at the same time, you're helping the infrastructure, you're helping the city out. You know what I mean? So it's bigger and better things that we're going to do as a people this year. I'm how they say that in church, I'm prophetically claiming that thing. Hallelujah. but guys, man, make sure you guys, all those websites. Now, what's a website? One more time. What's the one website they can it feeds into all of them? OBO?
Ours, yes. HoustonTX.gov/OBO.
OBO. Make sure you guys go there. And just from there, then you guys could resource from out of that because, you named a lot of
everything.
And we got, we got all kind of disorders and you can't remember nothing. So anyway, but guys, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. If you have any questions, you know how to hit me up at Culturally Distinct, Mr. DJ KO, that's me. Shout out to my sponsors, shout out to my partnerships. I love you guys. We're going to do it bigger and better every day. Make sure you guys be out there, be safe. It's raining, it's cold. We waiting for this rain to go away. We don't need the heat though. We just need a little, 70 degrees. Yeah, a little 70. So guys, anyway, y'all see me in the street. Make sure y'all holler at me. Make sure y'all holler at Doc. Much love to y'all. Peace out. And that's a wrap.
All right, cool.